This video will be slightly different than others. Most atheists seem to lean far left on the political compass, but I'm a conservative atheist, and damn it, I'm going to show that I'm a conservative atheist by making a pro-gun video.
If you're still not sure what to do about guns, let me explain it to you using this awful cat. Now before we start, we can all agree that banning cats won't get rid of all cats.
A ban on cats won't get rid of all cats. Agreed. In the same way the current effective ban on large cats like tigers and lions doesn't stop people from trying to have lions and tigers in their apartments.
And that a majority of people that do own cats are good people.
Well, yeah, most people are good people, and having a cat doesn't change those odds.
Not every cat is an awful cat.
Agreed.
And I happen to love a cute, cuddly cat. Ah, look at you. So cute. Such a cute little kitty.
Stupid awful cat!
That was an awful cat. And that is what we're here to talk about. Let's say you're at the movies or church or school when out of nowhere a cat pops up and claws you in the face. Suddenly, you might want to do something about this awful cat.
I'm glad that you want to take care of the awful cat, but I really hope you want to do it before it claws someone. Although, it does take a couple clawings to realize that it's an awful cat. If you're being a dick to the cat and it claws you, and then you want to have the cat put down, the cat is not an awful cat, you're an awful person.
Now, I live on a street that had one awful stray cat. And when no one did anything about it, one cat turned into dozens, and they were all clawing people in the face. And it's all because my neighbor, the crazy cat lady, Mrs. Nra, was leaving out giant piles of treats for cats. So you explained to your neighbor that maybe it would be okay to have a couple rules for these cats. Now, you would hope that a good neighbor would understand. But she freaks out and yells at you that you're trying to ban all cats. And you're just like, hey, I just don't want to get clawed in the face. I'm not banning anything. And they tell you maybe if you had your own cat, you'd feel better about it. And you say, I do have a cat. It's that cute cuddly one in my window. That's not the problem. The problem is these... God damn it! So as you can see, we have a cat problem. And all anyone wants is to put some rules in place to stop the excessive amount of awful cats on the street. But instead, I'm looking out my window and see an even bigger, scarier lions, tigers, cheetahs, and AR-15.
Oh god. AR-15s jumping out of the bushes, attacking people! These AR-15s sure are causing a problem. Hey, wait a minute. Guns are inanimate objects and can't shoot on their own.
That's not the same as a regular cat. But my crazy cat lady neighbor wants you to think it's okay for everybody to own a cheetah. What? No. Would you stop it, Mrs. Nra? Really? And sure, there are people out there with the proper knowledge and training to understand the responsibilities of owning a cheetah.
Honestly, I wouldn't have a problem with having some sort of certification that says you've taken a firearms training course and you can't buy a gun without it. If that happened, some people would definitely get mad about it, but I think it's a great idea. You'd need the certification to purchase a gun, and if you were in possession of the gun without the certification, that would also be a problem.
But when the cheetahs keep ending up in schools clawing kids in the face, I don't think the answer is to put more cheetahs in the school. And I don't think the best way to buy a cheetah is to walk into Petco and go, hey, I want a cheetah. Oh, okay, here you go.
Yeah, as I said, having something that says I've taken a firearms training course is great. And background checks would also be great. However, the current system for background checks is shit. It involves an hour-long phone call that takes way too much time. The way that background checks should work is go to a website, type in name and date of birth, the website shows an image of the person, confirm that they look the same, then the website says yes if the person can buy a gun, or no if they can't. Quick and easy to use, and looking someone up doesn't get logged anywhere to try and track who's buying guns. If the system worked like that, and didn't inconvenience anyone but the criminals, I'm sure nobody would have an issue with background checks.
And I think we all can agree that it's impossible to get rid of all cats.
Correct. Getting rid of all guns is an impossibility, if only because you need guns to enforce the no guns rule. The issue with having no guns is that guns are a defense against bad people with guns, where bad cats don't defend you against other bad cats.
Which is good, because there's tons of cute, cuddly ones.
Cute, cuddly guns, like, say, handguns? You know, handguns that are used in 19 times as many murders as rifles, killed 9 times as many people as rifles, shotguns, and any other kinds of guns combined. Rifles are big and scary, but handguns are a way bigger problem. This, along with the fact that you can more easily conceal a handgun, is why the age limit to buy a handgun is 21, not 18 like rifles and shotguns.
But let's make some rules that limit and prevent how many awful cats wind up on our street. Less awful cats means less people clawed in the face.
Yeah, laws like don't murder people stop people from getting murdered for the most part. The cats in your example are not guns, but the people who use them, because guns can't do anything on their own. The majority of people use guns legally, and the few that don't should be locked up, and that shouldn't affect the people who are following the laws like don't murder people.
Sure, they still might get attacked by a dog or abducted by aliens, but let's handle this one problem at a time.
Do people really use that argument in defense of gun rights? Of course we shouldn't ignore one problem because of all the others. That's just retarded.
And while this won't solve all cat problems, there's a good chance it'll help with a lot. Like, they had a similar cat problem over on Australia Street, and after they put rules in place, good people still owned good cats, but no one has gotten clawed in the face in over 20 years.
I'm not saying that this is a reason that gun control is not a good idea, but the United States is a very different place than Australia. A gun buyback program would not work at all like it did there, not even close. Another example is the UK, which has very restrictive gun laws, and that has led to a highly reduced amount of gun crime, but their knife crime is through the roof. Self-defense with guns works like this. If somebody comes at me with a knife, I want a handgun. If somebody has a handgun, I want an assault rifle. If somebody comes at me with an assault rifle, I want an assault rifle and body armor, etc., etc. If somebody attacks me, I want to have the advantage, so I'm not attacked successfully.
And to all the teenagers on my street that are fed up with that cat lady, I'm really proud of you for being so brave. So I hope that explains to you the problem we're having with guns.
Here's an idea. Stop with the week-long media coverage of mass shootings. When the media spends day after day talking about a shooting, that tells people who are fucked in the head, why have 15 minutes of fame when it can have 5 days? Glorifying mass shootings is not a good way to stop them. Also, I would like to recommend 2 other videos on guns, one by Pookie Politics, who goes through a logical argument for why guns should not be banned, and another by 1791L, who goes over the cultural reasons that the debate about guns is happening. Follow me on Twitter, subscribe on Minds and YouTube. I'm Babina. I hope you enjoyed.